Wait a second.
Remember, you're not rolling, you're launching. It
Have you ever
spins.
wanted to play Bakugan but thought it was too circular? Do you like cylinders better than spheres? How about you try Monsuno?
Look at them, Mason. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jason Mason Power Hour.
Delivering you an hour of laughter and lightheartedness in 30 minutes or less. Otherwise, it's free.
My name is Jason.
And I'm Mason. This is our TV to tabletop series where we talk about TV shows
That are trying to sell you toys. All right, Mason, hear me out. I got a new TV show for you. It's called
All right.
Monsuno.
All right, let's hear about it.
All right, Mason. So I like this amalgamation of children's entertainment, Monsuno. Let's get into the game.
I'm ready for this.
Yes. So remember, the anime is this wacky story of these three kids with their Monsunos fighting other people with Monsunos, and it's just nonstop. I want to be the best Monsuno-er.
They don't even have a special name. It's not a Pokemaster. It's not a
No.
Monsuno Master.
I couldn't find it. I didn't want to watch the anime.
You didn't want to watch the whole anime?
Yeah. So
How many seasons are there?
there's 3.
What?
So
Okay,
full
okay.
disclosure, I didn't grow up with the anime. I was the Bakugan side where I'm like, this is the real thing. I didn't want to watch the knockoff. Come on.
Even little Jason, young Jason, sitting at home Saturday morning, spots Monsuno, immediately enraged. Yo, that's just Bakugan again!
Well, it wasn't even enraged. I saw the advertisement. I'm like, I don't care. Which is the worst thing for a kid.
That's the cardinal sin of commercials.
That's the worst.
You really want people to react strongly.
Yeah.
It could be negative, it could be positive, doesn't matter. But apathy?
Yeah.
Oof.
It was
Oof.
just indifference. It's like, but what? Why?
Why would I use a cylinder to control my monsters when they could be a sphere?
Yeah. So in the anime, they have their little tubes, their orbs. They're not Pokeballs. Remember, they're cylinders.
Well, for legal reasons, they're cylinders.
Yes, they're cylinders. Legally distinct.
Very legally distinct shapes.
You can't argue a cylinder is a sphere. That's just math.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. What, are they going to come up with your cylinders store monsters and our spheres do? Clearly not similar.
Exactly. And they would just basically eat them out and fight each other.
As all good games do,
That's all good games
apparently.
do in this dog fighting world.
In the dogfighting world of children's card games, there's only one way to resolve your disputes.
Exactly.
And you just showed us, no one else can see us, obviously, because it's a podcast.
Yeah.
But you just showed us the commercial for this.
Yeah.
And all the kids were standing in, like, the generic required abandoned warehouse to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, I was like, this warehouse has got to be crappier than the warehouse that the Bakugan commercial takes place in.
Yeah. Like, at least the Bakugan one, they had a proper Bakugan plastic battlefield. This was just a flat table.
Yo, or maybe they were trying to be more like, hey, you don't need all these extra things to play Monsuno. All you need is Monsuno and gumption, and you can play Monsuno.
I guess so, because it was like 3 other kids behind them. It wasn't even like a group of children.
Yo, but they still had the full audience sound.
Yeah, 3 of them in the back are just like, yeah, but they muted the kids, and it was just like generic crowd noise, like it was the gladiator battles.
Yo, I've never been more into Monsuno fights, and I still am not. So probably not a great commercial, all things considered.
But anyways, back to the game. It is, so in comparison to what we've seen, it is more of a card game than Bakugan.
Okay.
So,
More than Series 1 or Season 1 or
Gen 1 of Bakugan.
Gen 1 Bakugan.
That we've covered. So, again, we've kind of talked down on it, but, I'm trying to get you into the game, right?
Yep. I have to give this one a fair shake, actually. Okay, I need to put my cynic away. It's just so similar. How could they be like, yo, 3 years later, we created Monsuno after Bakugan's been out and successful. I feel like this is a blatant cash grab, but we'll see. All right.
We'll
cynic
find
away.
out.
Cynic
So
away.
We're gonna get into it, right? So basically, right, it's similar to Bakugan, where it's like a 3-on-3 monster battle.
Not starting strong.
Not starting strong. As a difference, as someone who's already bought into Bakugan, hypothetically.
Okay. I need to ignore that Bakugan exists for this. It's unfair otherwise.
But it's just a frame of reference, right? It's a 3-on-3.
3-on-3. You have 3 of your little monsters.
Yeah, your
and they have
Monsunos.
You're right. My bad. I have 3 of my Monsunos, and they have 3 of their Monsunos.
Yes.
Okay.
So you basically you've got your deck. It's about 40 cards.
Okay.
Right. You draw 5. That's your hand. Your starting hand.
Solid.
So you both declare what Monsuno you're going to summon.
Perfect.
And each one has their own character card with a cost.
Yeah.
Right. On the card, let me pull up the picture real quick.
Let's see. Let's see this beautiful card.
So you got a launch card.
Okay, I'm looking at one right now.
That's how much it needs.
So launch 6, that's the cost.
Yes. So you need to pay 6 cards to summon this one. This is a lock beast.
Lock beast.
Yeah.
It's got some flavor text. I don't know if it's actually called flavor text. That's what Magic calls it. But here we go. According to STORM, I would say Storm, but it's an acronym.
It's an acronym, but they say Storm. That's an agency.
According to Storm, lock may be the linchpin. I do like the mysterious. As someone who plays Magic, yeah. I'm a connoisseur of mysterious and out there flavor text. Okay, right. So far so good. So
also, I forgot to include in the anime, Storm. No one really cares what the acronym means. It's a generic government agency that's involved in Monsuno, fighting the bad guys with Monsunos.
It's knockoff Shield.
Yes.
And Shield's big. Like, I've seen all the Marvel movies, but I still couldn't tell you what it stands for.
Exactly.
Strategic something.
Yes. So some strategic ends in Monsuno.
Oh my God, that's the M.
That's probably
that's the M Storm.
But I would be honest, the vibe of everybody who played the game that I could pick up doesn't care.
Fair.
They just wanted to try the game.
Lore doesn't matter here, I guess.
So once you pull out, you pay your cost, you summon your Monsuno. That's the end of the first turn.
Nice. Okay.
Right. So simple, right?
Yeah. You just do one thing per turn.
It's not like Magic, Mason Magic Connoisseur, where if you're playing green, you're like, it's a simple turn, and then you play 5 cards somehow because you just ramp
so much mana.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, only one thing per turn.
Yes. Right.
So you summon your Monsuno, and then I assume their first turn they also summon a Monsuno.
Yes, they summon their Monsuno, and then it goes back to the first player's turn. Then they can declare to attack a Monsuno or summon another one.
Do you attack the opponent's Monsuno, or are you attacking the opponent?
You target an opponent Monsuno specifically.
Okay.
So it's not, you have to attack the Monsuno, and the winner of that fight, or like the loser of that fight, will take the difference in damage. So you start at 100 life points.
Okay, and then how much attack are we talking here?
Between the ranges of like 10 to 50, usually.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see on the card, it's got health bar, power level.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at its health bar. It says 150 health.
Yes.
It has more health than you.
Yes.
This game's going to be a slog.
Yes. So you see the problem. Why I didn't pick up.
So let's say I'm playing, and I play a Monsuno, they play a Monsuno, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to attack your Monsuno, and my attack is, what was it, like 50?
Yeah.
And then they attack, and what do we do with the cards?
All right. So, again, it kind of takes from that Digimon, when we go back to Digimon, where you're both going to pick a strike card from your hand. Mm-hmm. The attacker puts one down first.
Okay.
The other puts one down. And then we get these things called domination types.
Okay.
Right?
Cannot resist typing creatures.
Yes.
Nobody can resist this.
So you're just...
Fire's got to be one of the types, obviously.
Yes. So you're just kind of looking for symbols, right? So I'm showing you this Chase Strike card.
Chase's Strike.
Right. It's got the symbol right here. This one's more of an effect than an attack, but...
Okay.
Right.
This is Chase. This is Chase of the anime.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Chase of the anime. So this one just causes a speed -2.
Speed -2. What does the speed have to do with anything?
It affects the order at which the cards go.
Higher speed goes first, lower speed goes second.
Yes.
Okay.
So it affects them. And at the bottom, it has the symbol. So like back to Digimon where it was like you had the 3 different options.
Yes.
So the first one in order will go off, and then it activates, and then the other ones. So it's like here, this Tuscarang, right? Special, right? Crossbolt. This card gains plus 20 damage if Crossbolt has less than 2 cards attached.
Okay, so these, when you flip these cards, they become attached to your creature.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting.
Yes. And
I have lock, and I'm like, I'm going to activate. oh, Tuscarang is a different color, so, or a different symbol or domination type or whatever.
Yes.
So that would be a bad combination to do.
Yes.
But assuming it could happen,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm going to Tuscarang my lock, and then it gives it some sort of buff. In this case, gains 20 damage if it has 2 or more cards.
Yes.
Or less than 2. So you really want that to be your first card. I see.
Yeah. So then, like that stacking. So it's a lot of different cards.
But you only do one thing at a time, right?
Yes. So that's like your attack. So then what happens is you play out your attack.
Yeah.
So also, I told you wrong. You don't have a life point. Each of your Monsunos has a life point. You deplete it to 0. That one's gone.
Oh, gotcha. First to defeat the other one's Monsuno's wins.
So it's like
no danger to the handler of the dogs.
Yes. No dog handlers were hurt in this proxy dog fighting.
Oh God. Okay.
So, you fight, and then they both get tired. So you put them in like the resting area so they can't be challenged or attacked, and then you have to wait a turn to pull them back out.
Yo, this game's gonna take forever.
Yes. You see why this wasn't the replacement for Bakugan.
So every turn I'm doing one thing, which will do the difference between their attacks and damage.
Yes.
And all their attacks are like, 10 to 50, so you're dealing like at best 40 damage a time.
Yes.
And these creatures have like 150 health each.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of them.
Yes. So you have to take out your opponent's 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And it's every turn you're just like, I'll just flip this random card.
Yeah.
Well, it's not random. You get to choose it.
You choose the other guy's random, and it's their choice, but it has to match up with the domination.
Oh my God. All right. Okay.
So that was pretty much it. I'm gonna show you.
That's it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's it?
You just keep fighting until one person's Monsunos all die.
Oh my God.
So we were on a string of, as the kids say, bangers of kids games. Full disclosure, I don't think this is on that list. But Mason, you are playing with house money.
What?
In this scenario of, should I buy this game?
Oh, right.
So like I'm
sorry, I thought there was a gambling aspect.
Oh,
for a second.
no.
I was like, children's card games. Okay, you've got me hooked again.
No, that would have made it go real well with like some FCC guy or something. Why are we getting children gambling? But I'm just showing you a list of all the different creatures.
That's a lot.
All the Monsunos.
Okay.
But as you can see, I'm on the wiki. There's no information.
No, manufacturer, power level, American Wave debuted, and Japanese Wave debuted. All those are blank.
Yes. So within the Monsuno community, they weren't keeping track of this. This is one of those card games that it just came out, and it lasted 3 seasons.
An ignoble death.
Yes. Basically, first season came out. They were like, this is going to be the next big thing. Right.
So they prepped. They set up the wiki and stuff.
Yeah.
We gotta watch out with the competitive meta.
This is not Reddit where you're gonna get in trouble for being an employee.
Okay.
They made their own wiki, thinking that kids are gonna be like, oh man, I need to look it up. So if you actually click on them, like Locke, the one we looked at,
yeah,
little ice bear, right?
Yeah,
it's got good information on them, right? Here's all these different pictures and stuff.
These are all like screen caps from the anime, by the way, everybody.
Yes.
So you can actually go admire this yourself if you go to monsuno.fandom.com/wiki/Locke.
Yes.
You can also enjoy reading about Locke.
Yes. All this information.
Yo, wait, hold on. Let me read this description.
Yeah. This is the thing.
Locke is a mixture of a bear, a tiger, and a gorilla, but it mostly resembles a polar bear. And then you look at the picture, and you're like, that's just a polar bear. I don't see any tiger or gorilla in there.
You see why this went off the rails. It was a cool idea in concept because it was supposed to take real-world animals as you listed, and they're like DNA mixing them.
Oh, I see.
It's a storm of
the Monsuno DNA.
Yeah.
No, the monster DNA, which is just called Monsuno.
Yes. Got
into wild animals somehow,
and
it turned this polar bear into an ice polar bear. I get it.
That's supposed to have some relation to a regular bear,
no tigers,
a tiger.
No gorillas. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything more egregious in my life. That's a lie.
Yes.
Can you edit this? Can this be edited? Is this like normal Wikipedia? Can I edit this?
Probably.
We need to change that immediately.
There's only 800 pages. I don't think the admins are active on this thing. We can probably.
Yo, we need to. Maybe we should set out just rewrite the rules to this game. Change the wiki.
Maybe that could be a future thing. If like this ever makes money, people can pay us to remake Monsuno the game. Just take what they have and just rewrite the rules so it's fun.
Oh man, Okay, so how can that be it? So you just like, I'm gonna summon this Monsuno, your turn. I'm gonna summon my Monsuno, your turn. Well, I'll attack. Your turn. Well, I'll attack. Your turn. I'll rest my Monsuno. Me too. I'll attack with my Monsuno.
Yeah.
I'll attack with mine. I'll rest mine. I'll rest mine. And maybe one of you could switch it up. Be like, I'll summon one. No, whoa, look at Mr. Strategy over here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now you have 2 Monsunos while mine's resting. Oh.
Well, no, because to do that, you have to take a turn off to summon one.
Or like you have one resting.
Yeah, and then you have one
just summon another one. The other guy's like, I'll just rest. Like, wait, we went out of order.
These cards better be absolutely crazy cool to get this game, because every turn you get to play a card.
Yeah.
These card effects better be bonkers. Yes. Like summon an additional Monsuno and like attack your opponent in physical real life cards.
Yes.
Like that's what I'm looking for from these cards. So
let's pull up some more.
Okay.
Because there's not much. This is this is like my picture of who the audience is like the 6-year-old brother of the sibling that's playing Bakugan. Mom and dad are like, well, little Johnny, we spent all our money on the Bakugan, and he really wants to keep them all because he's gonna use everyone that he has. So like
for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So like Johnny's little brother Jimmy, he can't. There's no hand-me-down Bakugans.
They're collectible.
Exactly. Jimmy's got to get his own thing. So, and little Jimmy really wants to be we really want Jimmy to be into zoology.
So we're gonna hook this kid on Monsuno.
Yes. So.
Well, you know what? Okay, one cool thing about Monsuno, when you open a Bakugan, it doesn't look anything like the anime.
Yes,
But the Monsunos kind of do, because it's like a little toy that you put inside this cylinder.
Yes.
And you toss the cylinders at each other and they open up.
Yes. So that's the difference. Bakugan is all besides all the support pieces, it's all sphere based, and it has to adhere to, I guess, real world spherical rules. I've never thought I would ever say that in my life, but...
Can you enlighten me what real-world spherical rules are?
Well, you have a sphere, right?
Yeah.
And you have plastic in it. You can only you have to physically be able to open it to make the shape.
Oh, I see. It has to obey
Bakugan. Yeah.
Actual universal laws.
You can't just I roll the Bakugan and a second one just flies out and it makes it look completely different.
Gotcha. Like the anime.
Yeah, like the anime.
And the way they solved this was by having inside the cylinder.
Yes.
So first of all, you throw these, you flick them.
Yes.
And they spin not unlike a Beyblade.
Not at all.
And then they hit each other, very dissimilar from Beyblade, of course. And they pop open, and then the monster comes out.
Yes. And the cool thing with Monsuno, again, is the whole marketing is they're in the cylinder, but they're not the cylinder. They're the plastic toy folds out, so it can take more unique shapes. So it looks more like the cartoon character.
So the toys will look more like the cartoon.
Yes. At
the cost of the game being Garbo.
Yeah, they didn't get past the design phase, I don't think.
I just can't imagine this game actually being played. How am I just sitting there for 20 minutes trying to wheel down this one this one Monsuno at a time, and then once I've finally done the thankless task, they're just and I got 2 more of those, and you're like, no, mine's almost dead. Oh wait, I have 2 more of these too. Yeah. We can just sit here for an hour.
Well, when your older brother Johnny's playing his cool Bakugan, and they're getting to replay matches over and over again, you got to do something in that hour.
You're right.
That's what I'm honestly picturing this demographic, because it is like that.
And this show came out a couple of years later,
yes.
Right?
Yeah. And it's more like that edginess, not cartoonish, like the physical toys. So I think it's appealing to that, we're not Bakugan, we're not cartoony. I don't know.
Even though we have a cartoon.
Yeah.
To sell our show, we're not cartoony.
But they're look, right? It's got real world physics.
Is that what you got from this toy? That's not the vibe I'm getting, but okay.
Yeah, or just I'm showing you, this is an Echo Arachnoblade, right? It's a spider.
All right, to be fair, that's a cool name.
Yeah,
Echo Arachnoblade. Right?
It's got some cooler stuff. In comparison, because this is the main comparison, Bakugan. One of them was a tiger creature called Tigress.
Ooh.
So that's kind of a strike against Bakugan. Skyrus was a bird.
That's pretty trash. I don't think I knew this for Bakugan. Yeah. I won't reassess my Bakugan scores, but yikes.
But at this point, I'm trying to in this like I said, house money. You're not spending anything, but hypothetical.
In my hypothetical life, where I just have enough money to purchase whatever games I want.
Whatever games you want, would you pick this? Right? These figures are pretty cool, though.
These monsters do look pretty cool, and some of them have cool names.
Yeah.
But what about Locke? One of them was just Locke. It was a polar bear. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's not a pun.
Yeah. Well, Locke. I can't help you there. I will
and
be
he's
honest.
the main character's freaking Monsuno. That's main character syndrome means your guy has to have a pronounceable name.
Yeah.
Right? Pikachu, very pronounceable. Who's the main dude in Digimon? What's his guy?
Agumon.
Agumon, that's a name I can say.
That's the Digimon, yeah.
Okay, Bakugan, his main one?
Dragonoid,
an easy to say name. All right, so
Locke. Locke's one syllable, dude.
Boom, I can say Locke a lot.
Yeah.
And I won't get tongue-tied.
Yeah, it's not like Lockahedronoid.
Yeah, it's not like that at all.
So, you got that going for it. And like I said, it's got the collectability with the figures.
The figures are cool. I am somewhat partial to these games that are like a mixture of card game and toy because I think the miniatures are cool.
Yeah.
And I like the little cylinders. The miniatures they're okay. Let me try and describe this.
Yes.
The miniatures like a plastic, like a rubbery plastic.
Yes.
And they kind of deform to fit in these cylinders.
Yes.
But when they pop out of the cylinder, they definitely don't look like they could fit in the cylinder.
Yeah.
There is this kind of like illusion of, like the Pokemon ball effect or the Pokeball effect. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, all the Pokemon fans out there absolutely raging in the comments.
Yeah.
Mason doesn't even know what Pokemon is.
Yeah, don't worry. He doesn't.
Well, all right, we're moving on. But yeah, it has that kind of illusion where, this is like a cool toy and it couldn't fit inside. It's like a separate toy.
Yeah.
I like that. That's kind of fun.
So, yeah, that was the big pitch. Even I remember at the advertisement, they were just like, it's so cool. It looks so cool. It was never actually them, like, playing the card game like the advertisement I showed you.
Yeah.
It was like a 30-second advertisement. 3 or 4 seconds was on the cylinder spinning.
Yeah, it was a lot of the cylinder spinning. And to be honest, that looked pretty fun.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get one just to spin that cylinder and have the thing pop out.
That
looked exciting.
If you think about it, it was like the predecessor to a fidget toy.
Pre-fidget toy, people. Yeah. You heard it here first. Monsuno, the original fidget toy.
You gotta think about it, right? I'm showing you a picture of like a 4 set where they're all like blue colored, so it'll be that element.
There's like a snake guy. There's like a lizard guy. There's like a bird of some type, and maybe a griffin. I don't know what that thing is.
Looks like a griffin, but it's like, these are really cool looking, plastic toys. They're like small. Come in the cylinder, but like that's really cool that they can take the shape.
Yeah, the fact that they can look like this after coming out of that cylinder is cool. I will give them that. That's true. Sometimes when you look at the Bakugan, you're like, this looks nothing like it's supposed to. And sometimes when you look at the Beyblade, like if you watch a TV show, you're like, oh, there's supposed to be a spirit or something. Mm-hmm. In real life, it's just a plastic top with some metal pieces.
Yeah.
No cool special effects or holograms yet.
Yeah. Get that VR systems going.
That's right, VR Beyblade. What will they think of next?
Mason, maybe we, after we do this show, we learn to rewrite these rules.
Are we trying to create VR Monsuno?
Maybe if we clean it up, they look really cool in real life. They look really cool in virtual reality.
Just got to be careful with, I don't know. Just the more virtual reality it gets, the more like actual dogfighting it seems.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
I don't know how comfortable I'd feel with like. Even imagine Pokemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, it's fun on my Game Boy. Oh, it's kind of fun on the Switch or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then, like, you're in VR. You're like, oh, I'm standing in a big circle watching two small animals fight each other.
You're right. Because these creatures range in size. So you're also like, oh, I'm watching this little lizard fight this giant polar bear.
Yo, this polar bear is going to eat the lizard. Oh, my God. This is horrific.
But, in that, like, battle bots, like, you're 8 to 12 years old, like, not traditional animals fighting each other.
That's true. The less like animals they look, probably the better.
Yeah.
Right? Like, some of these guys look pretty similar to animals. But Griffin guy here, I'm okay with that. Yeah. He's not a real animal.
A dogfight with your Griffin.
I think we got to stop talking about dogfighting on this podcast.
Like
it's hard to do when every game is just dogfighting, though.
Yeah, just make better games, guys. Make better games.
Can we move away from the from the man. You know what everyone really wants to do? Wait a second. This is making me question the designers. Every designer's kind of like in the back of their mind thinking, if only it was legal and morally not reprehensible to dogfight. How can I make that a reality? I'll write a game about it.
Yeah, no, like this is just a dissection of 2000s children's content creators.
Oof.
Teaching kids it's okay to dogfight if it's not real.
As long as it's a mythical animal, you're okay.
All right, Mason. So we've gone over Monsuno, the wackiness of the 2010s where we kind of just gave up on originality.
Yeah.
So did I sell this to you? Like, obviously, I'm not going to sell this to, how old were you? I'm assuming you were like 14, 15.
In 2010,
2011,
I
12.
was, the year is my grade level, so 2010 I was in 10th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, this is you pre-college, but preparing for college. I'm not going to sell this game to you. But
what if I was like 8?
Yeah.
8 years old.
Yeah. Like, let's put you back. I'm going to give you two options.
Okay.
Because obviously, this isn't the best thought out game. So, 8-year-old you is just seeing this, like, you're too young for Bakugan, so this is your first thing.
Yep.
Would this interest 8-year-old you?
I think it would, but I also wouldn't play the game. I would just buy the figures.
Yeah, just to collect.
Just because they're cool looking, and like I like the spinny thing, and that seems fun.
Yeah. Also because like all your peers probably wouldn't want to play it either.
No, not really.
Or it'd be like you and like one of your friends, like just another made up name, Tommy.
Tommy.
You and Tommy like do the thing where you're like, I have Monsuno. Let's play. You meet up one time and they're like, let's never play again.
One time playing, and you're like, that solves that.
Yeah. But I guess 8-year-old you would buy it as a collectible.
Well, not a 8-year-old me wouldn't be collecting it. 8-year-old me would be like, this is a sick little monster, and I like the little spinny thing.
Yeah.
And then ignore the fact that the card game exists. Maybe play with them as just like a pretend toys. Just for fun.
Yes.
But any older than 8, and it starts not happening.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, honestly, when we started this podcast, I thought I was just gonna be like, yes, every single time, like I will buy the toy, because I was kind of like, that's kind of the point of the podcast. You to introduce to me, and me to be like, wow, that's so cool, because I didn't like do it as a kid. But no,
I gotta mix it up. Like not all of them can be bangers. Not all of them.
Yo, I thought they were going to be, but they weren't.
Yeah,
this one is not. I mean.
Not all most the previous ones, they're great.
Yeah, but
it's got something.
Banger after banger after banger for like 4 episodes, and then this one comes, and I'm just like, what is happening? Yo, they lost it. They lost the magic. The sweet, sweet magic sauce that let this thing exist wasn't here.
So the funniest thing is, when I was doing this research, they actively reached out to content creators who were Bakugan content creators to make a pivot. And they straight up were giving them small deals.
The arrogance of Monsuno.
Yeah, they were like, well, I would argue they didn't, the people trying to market it did a great job in trying to cut out the Bakugan content creators for like, hey, we got a new, like Bakugan, it's not gonna be around for forever. Let's hop on the next big thing together.
All right, marketing team on Monsuno, strong start there.
Everyone
but
else.
You were let down by the people in creative.
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine right now the marketing team just like after work one day, just like at the bar, just all silent.
Yeah, they're just
drinking, just like, how will we ever get this game going?
It's a lot of them that are just like, well, we did a job.
We did the best we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say you did not sell me this. The toy as a toy seems fine.
Mm-hmm.
The game, it just seems really long.
Yes.
Maybe someone out there can be like, no, I've played Monsuno my whole life. It's the best game. And they can comment on the video and be like, or not on the video, whatever it's called, podcast.
Yeah, wherever this is.
Yeah, and they can be like, oh, no, but actually it's, this, that, or the other thing. It's so fun if you play like this. And I would welcome that. Yeah. Because right now, the impression I'm getting of Monsuno is, do you like doing nothing for 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is just slightly better than that.
Do you like doing stuff every couple of minutes at a time?
Wait, is it this or sitting staring at the ceiling? This is better than that.
Yeah. Objectively, you're doing more than staring at the ceiling.
You're doing a lot more than staring at the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was like if the option was you can sit here in silence with your friend or you guys can play Monsuno, then I'd be like, all right, Monsuno, you got me. But anything else than that, I'm not sure it's happening.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Alrighty.
Oh, it's such an unfortunate situation because reading the wiki on this, I do some research, everybody. Not a ton, though. Not going to lie. This is mostly Jason explaining to me the game. So it was bonkers sounding.
Yeah.
And that intro we read earlier, Reawakened Monster DNA, God. Yeah. What a start. That's a solid start for a game.
Yeah, it was just in that era of, like, everybody's kind of sick of dinosaurs, but they like the idea of messing with DNA. So that's kind of cool. But it was very much like the R&D department. They did a lot of art, not a lot of development. A lot of research.
A lot of research.
There's a lot of similarities other games, not a lot of development.
They were like, if we just put these ideas together, we'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, so sorry, Monsuno. I did an effort. I'm gonna be honest. I was not a shill.
Did not shill it enough to me.
Did not shill it enough.
Where are those advertising people we need, though?
Yeah. Pay us to be in an industrial warehouse. We'll
play this game.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you guys like the video. Comment what your favorite Monsuno is, if you even have one. Maybe they're just also great.
Yeah.
And subscribe. I mean, honestly, if you have a favorite Monsuno, you got to tell us more about this because
you got to pitch it better than I did. You got to pitch it better than me.
Well, hopefully that was 30 minutes. If not, it was free.
I mean, they weren't paying for it anyway.
What?
They look like monsters.
Yo, all I know is that this game is a ripoff of every other game.